Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's session as part of the Manga Immersion Day, kindly sponsored by the Japan Society. It is so good to welcome you all along in your schools from across the country, and a special welcome to Chi, who is joining us from Japan. So we had this morning an excellent session on the history of manga. We heard from Julian Sedgwick all about Tsunami Girl, which is a book project that he worked on with Chi. We had a little glimpse of Chi doing some live drawing, which was incredible. All of those are going to be available as recordings, so if you missed them, don't worry. We also had lots of questions in the Q&A box. So the chat where you've been saying hi is brilliant. But if you have specific questions for Chi, then you can put those in the Q&A. This session is going to be about an hour. We'll have a really short break, and then we've got a final session at the end of the day for your library staff, all about how to make sure the manga collections in your schools are brilliant. And so without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Chi and hope that you have ready with you your pencils, your paper, your erasers, and she's going to turn us into manga artists.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining my session. So as she introduced me, my name is Che, and then I usually based in Brighton in the UK, but at the moment, somehow I'm in Japan. So hello from the far, far away. And then today I'm going to tell you how to draw the one of the main character of Tsunami Girl. He's a half wave. And then as you just follow my instruction, and then as I explain how to draw him, I will give some tips about how to draw manga style, etc. So if you already know how to draw, you just try to steal some tips from me. But if you are total beginner, don't worry, you just follow my very simple instruction. And then just before starting, if there's anybody who doesn't know what manga is, well, Japanese comic. And then we share, I mean, even if you don't know much about manga, you might see some anime or some game like Pokemon, that kind of thing. We kind of share similar style of similar drawing style. So that kind of area you are looking for, especially for the drawing style. But it's a very diverse thing. Well, you cannot like define this is the manga style, but this is like my manga style, and we are all going to draw halfway from Tsunami Girl. So let me share the my new window. Okay, I hope you all can see what half wave look like. So what we are going to do is we all try to draw him something like that. Now, are you all ready? You got your pencil, a sheet of paper, maybe one extra sheet of paper to make some note or write down some tips from me, and erasers, and if you need one, just pencil sharpener or something. Okay, let's start. First of all, let's say this is your A4 paper. Use it in portrait way. I would like you to draw a circle, and I'm going to draw this stage with blue color pencil. When I'm drawing things in blue color, it means I'm doing rough sketch planning stage. So everyone who's following my instruction, please use your pencil very, very softly. Don't put too much pressure on your pencil, because this stage, the lines you create, you make this stage, you might want to erase some of them later. So try to control the pressure on your pencil and just draw a circle. Try to draw a circle as perfect as possible with maybe short strokes like that. Just shape a circle like this. Weak pressure on your pencil, please. Very softly. Okay, easy peasy. Next step, I'm going to ask you to divide this circle into 4 evenly, like that, as if you're cutting pizza or cake. Now, I think some of you who's already got experience on drawing, you might think, oh, this is a traditional, very classic circle with cross thingy before drawing. And yes, we are doing this, but it is quite important. I will tell you why it's so important a bit later. So bear with me and follow my instruction. And next thing I'm going to ask you is extend this line. Just generally speaking, if you draw this line longer, your character ended up having a longer face. If you extend this line shorter, your character having shorter, rounder face. And shorter, rounder face character tend to look like young or baby-ish, cute, and longer face character tend to look more older or looking sharp or cool, that kind of way. And for half wave, our character today, is his face is not too long, not too short. So he's not a baby, but he's not like totally grown up. He's something like 13 years old or 14 years old, something like that. Maybe it's very similar to your age. So it's kind of slightly, maybe something like that. And then you just connect this part to this part with nice curvy line like that. This part, connect them with nice curvy line. And it is just about impression. If you think it's not too rounder face, if it's not too long face, it should be okay. It's something in between. And other thing, you can adjust it later if you want to. So don't worry about it too much at the moment, but just keep drawing with very, very weak pressure. And next thing I'm going to do is I just simply mark where about I'm going to add character's eye. Usually it's just under this line. And nose and mouth. The position of each facial part is, again, totally up to you. You can slightly make it higher or lower. Fourth, halfway, I would say just under this line should be fine. And now I'm checking all the balance. I think halfway should have slightly narrower face. So I just cut this part off and connect like this. It's just kind of all the shaping and checking the balance. And now, next thing I'm making a mark is for ears. Even if ears are covered with characters here, I always draw to see where about the ears are. And then usually the most average position of the ears are just next to the eye, something like that. Next to the eye, something like this. And next thing I make a little sketch would be a neck. It's gonna be something like from the middle of eyes, go down. From the middle of the eyes, go down. It's kind of average width of neck. If you are drawing not halfway, but drawing very huge masculine character, you can make the neck wider like this, or you can draw neck narrower like this. It's just with that what kind of size of neck suit your character. So for this session, we are all drawing halfway, and halfway got like very kind of average width of neck. So we keep this. And next thing is start adding more details on eyes and then each facial part. First, I have to tell you how to draw eyes. Drawing eyes is just, you can make it very simple. One, I'm just explaining how to draw eyes, nose, and mouth. So if you need to take a note, please take it on separate paper or back of the paper you're using, or maybe just a little corner of the paper. And then don't touch that template we just draw yet. Okay, so eyes is usually consists of 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. And then you are adding usually the middle, the pupil. And then the other side Y is usually the mirror image of the other side, like this. And then if you want to add some details, you can add double eyelid, for example, or eyelashes if you want to. Just build things from very basic 1, 2, 3 kind of eyes and adding details step by step. In this way, you never get it wrong. And then, as I said, eyes are mirror image to each other, left eye, right eyes, mirror image to each other. But when you want to add highlights are always the same side. So let's say this is the sun is shining, sun's light goes in, means here is a highlight, and the same side. And here is a kind of reflection, same side. And then if you follow this rule, you can add a lot of different, more sparkles inside of the eyes. And then if you are drawing villain or character who is in the dark side, don't add highlights, because highlights makes your character's eye automatically bright, and then your character look like really kind of energetic in a way. also you need to add eyebrows, usually kind of parallel to the eyes, maybe slightly wider or can be shorter, but something like this. What you can play with is you can change the angle of this part, size of this part, and position of this part. You can change to create, for example, if you change this part goes like this, and this part slightly maybe bigger, and this part slightly far away from this area, you can create a different impression of eyes. You see, maybe one opposite like this, very small, this kind of eyes, or this kind of eyes. You can create, if you mix and match with the different angle of this part 1, different size part 2, this part 2, the different position 3, you can create a lot of different kind of eyes. And for half wave, he's got slightly outside up kind of top part, and then kind of normal this kind of size of eye, and then here this is connected like this. And then for half wave's eye, I would add end bit of the eye like this. And he doesn't have a clear double eyelid, but I just add a little bit kind of eyeball indication here. So that's how you kind of create each character's eyes, and this is how I draw half wave's eye. I will go back to the template soon and then draw half wave's eye, so don't worry about it too much at the moment. And then eyebrows, you just make it thicker or give more angle or make it corner. You can just play around with the angle, thickness, and then also what you can do is how close you draw eyebrows, very close to the eye or quite far away from the eyes. You can play around those things. And that's about eyes. And nose, just one very simple advice. Keep it simple. We don't need to draw this kind of everything in kind of nose. We just need little knot, indicate maybe this bit, just little knot like that. Or classic Japanese manga nose, 1, 3, 1, 2, which is indicate like this part. And this one is kind of this part as well. And then for today, I think I'm going to use just little knot like that for halfway nose. And finally, mouth, how to draw mouth. Generally speaking, again, you don't need to draw every single lines like this. For manga style, you just need maybe this line and maybe probably this line as well. And if you want to draw in very lippy character, you can add this arch. So for half wave, I just use draw this part and this part, so like this. And half wave is smiling really confidently all the time. So I just make this side a little bit up, like give a little bit of confidence. Not just soft smile, but nice but confident smile, strong will kind of. And then, so that what is most important thing about drawing mouth is not that all the details like this, but what kind of emotion, what kind of characteristic to show. So is it smiling, or is it upsetting? Is it laughing? One side up, laugh with teeth, sniggering, little cheekiness, or whistling, or Japanese style cute meow kind of mouth. Just think about shape and then also the emotion and the characteristic of the character you are drawing. Okay, now let's go back to this template. Now we are adding eyes, nose, and mouth for half wave. So as I said, half waves I are slightly up there. So I draw this part first. And then this part. Still, you are using very, very weak pressure. And here. And as I said, I add this end of the eye corner like this. And nose, don't worry about it. It's just little dot here. And mouth, not just one soft smile, but one side up kind of smile. If you get really confused, you just erase some of the unnecessary lines nicely. Don't damage your paper. Draw very softly on the sketch stage, and also erase some of the unnecessary part very, very gently, not to, try not to damage the paper. And now I'm going to add eyebrows. He's got very strong eyebrows, and then quite close to the eyes. So I just draw something like this and like that. He's got corner, and do the same, something like this, and corner. And I add a little bit of detail inside of the eyes, pupil in the center, and highlights. Because half wave is a hero, so he's got nice bit of highlights too, and he's got have a very nice shiny eyes like this. So we've done face of half wave. Next thing is adding his hair. And basically, if you want to add character's hair, what you need to do is, I will show it in different color. This is not about half wave, it's just generally speaking, you need to know the character's hairstyle. You have to kind of design the character's hairstyle first. And then, first of all, you have to decide where to part the character's hair. what kind of fringe or what kind of shape of the forehead it's showing. Let's say this side parted hair. And then you have to kind of always think about this line is, if you're drawing totally bold character, it's okay to draw this. But most of the all of the character who's got very, very short hair, or even the character's hair is really tightly tied, there are some kind of volume on top of the skull, like this. It's just that you don't have to draw it, but you have to kind of think about that there is a volume always like that. Because some people just adding front hair fringe like this within this template, it means this character's got only this fringe and other part is totally bold. So if this is your if this is your intention, it's okay, but it's not. You just think about this part and other volume of the hair. Okay. And next thing you have to think about is the shape of it. So I will show you a very kind of quick example. Let's say the shape of the hair is something like that. It's slightly similar to halfway, but halfway got slightly different one. And if you follow this line with, for example, zigzag, then you get like very classic Japanese manga anime style spiky hair like that. So where the hair part, what kind of fringe, volume and shape of the hairstyle, and follow the hair texture. For this time, it's a zigzag line, or you can use this kind of line to get afro kind of hair. So think about those. But for halfway, he's got, yeah, side parted. So here, and he's got fringe parted right here and here. But he's got like big chunk of front hair like this. And also he's got signature big chunk of standing up front hair like that. Other thing you should think about is think about each part of the hair as a chunk. So this is a fringe one, this is a standing up fringe, and then this is a kind of side fringe goes this way. And he's got some kind of volume, basic volume here. And also he's got signature big standing up top hair. And then two top standing hair like this. And go to side, and this side as well. Some go to side. And then there should be some hair showing behind his neck, and it goes like that. And also he's got some side bun, so it's going to be like here would be his side bun. So is everything okay so far? Am I doing a little bit too quickly?
Oh, this is perfect. I'm
okay. Great. So just draw hairs. If the character's hair is slightly complicated, draw hair section by sections. It's like when I'm drawing characters here, I feel as if I'm a hairdresser, the best hairdresser for the character. And then I'm kind of thinking, okay, this hair goes top, this part of hair goes side, blah, blah, blah. And then, if you are thinking that way, your arm somehow draw it. It's kind of connected. What you are thinking is showing what you're drawing. So I actually recommend that when you are drawing characters' hair, think as if you are setting your character's hair. This goes there, tight or fluff, or that kind of thing. Think about that. And it's same thing goes to when you're drawing character's face. Think about, or maybe make the face. If you're drawing angry character, you kind of show, doing angry face for yourself, like then that kind of, you have to kind of think about anger and everything, and that shows on your drawing. So thinking and drawing is very closely connected. Okay, now let's draw a little bit of his body and neckline. So you just draw this kind of slightly angled line for his shoulder. And shoulders are always wider than head, obviously. Give kind of not 1, 2, 3, but slightly shorter than 1, 2, 3. So let's say this is a kind of head wide, slightly shorter than head wide, slightly shorter than head wide, but just give plenty of width for the shoulder. And if you're drawing like big masculine kind of person, you can make it wider, but for halfway, maybe something like that is ideal. And he's wearing Japanese traditional costume. So the neckline of his costume goes like this and that. This is Japan, how to wear Japanese kimono. Japanese kimono dress is always this side. I mean, left-hand side is on top of this side, right-hand side. So that's how you kind of draw the neckline. So this side is always on top of this side. If you mistake this part, it means you are drawing dead people, because for the funeral, we dress the dead people in this way. It's a very unique custom of Japanese tradition, but so this side is always up. It's same for female dress or male dress. And then there's a color here at this kind of angle, and do this and do that. And you just add shoulder line, and this is a kind of where the arm should be. This is the arm, this is the arm, and this is a kind of shoulder of the costume. Okay, something like this.
Chi, could I just ask that we pause slightly? There are a couple of schools, I think, who need to catch up a little bit.
Okay,
so,
yes.
Is that okay? Just to give you a chance to catch up.
Of course.
Drawing along as well. But if you are keeping up and you are happy, then remember that you can put questions in the Q&A for Chi to answer at the end. But I just thought we'd give a few schools chance to catch up a little bit
Yes, let's do that. And while other people who already catch up, just try to look at your plan drawing and then adjust if there is anything you want to change. Make it slightly, how about like shape the halfway face. I'm doing a little bit, make it slightly narrower again. And as I make face narrower, I move ears a little bit. So catching up or adjusting, take your time. I'm adjusting.
Okay. I'm going to go back to my clothing. That's the bit that I'm
on. Okay.
There is a question from Chase Terrace Academy, which is literally about 5 minutes walk from where I'm sat, which is
wow.
Yeah. Is it fun to draw manga? Is it fun?
That's an interesting question. Well, it is fun. It is fun because I love drawing, but it is also very, in a way, hard because you have to draw. I mean, you have to, for manga story, you have to think about how to construct panels, how to make the story goes and all the things. And also you have to draw same things again and again for the fast rough, detailed rough drawing, and then ink. So it's kind of, at least you have to draw 3 times. So it takes time. It's tiring, but actually I enjoy it. So it's fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So hopefully that's given people a chance to catch up a little and we can carry on. Thank you.
Okay. Well, actually, this is almost done. So next thing you have to do is, I believe everybody using a very, very weak pressure on those rough sketch. So next thing I would like you to do is to finalize the drawing. So we all, well, not me, but you guys are all using pencil today. So this is a chance to use slightly stronger pressure on your pencil and then finalize the image. What you need to do, so it's a kind of equivalent to the inking stage. And what you need to do is pick up the best lines from the rough drawing to finalize your drawing. And I'll show you in different colored ink, black, so you can, it's easy to look at. So I usually start finalizing with the face line. Like this. It is because if you set the face line, it gives a really nice, good frame for the face. So you can kind of check the balance easier, check the balance of the position of eyes and nose and mouth easier if you set the face line first. So this is a framework. You have to fit everything within it. And then next thing I'm usually going to ink is eyes, because eyes are very, very important for manga style drawing. So I take time to refine eyes like this. Like that. So now all using stronger pressure on your pencil and finalize line like that and like this, and do the same on the other side. Sometimes people worrying about you cannot draw the right eye and the left eye looks same, but don't worry about it too much. None of us got same size of right eye and left eye, so it should be okay if it looks slightly different. If it's totally different, you have to use your eraser to change it, adjust it until you get satisfied, but usually you are worrying too much, usually. So eyes defined. And next thing I'm going to do is draw nose, easy peasy. And mouth, like this. And next thing, usually I'm going to draw face line like this. Side parted, this side goes this way. Side parted, this side goes this way. Sideburn, sideburn. And because it's next to sideburns, I add ears, ears, ears. And then I go add this signature stand up front hair. And I draw the shape of other part of hair like this, like that, like this. Just picking up the best line from the planning line. Don't afraid of kind of draw a new one if you want to, that's the good thing to use pencil. You can always redo it, and add back of the hair, back here. And now I'm going to add eyebrows. I use this kind of stroke to add half waves eyebrow. Use this kind of stroke to show the eyebrows hair lines and then things like that. Slight kind of, slight bushiness. I don't know. It's a kind of hair strokes. Or you can just draw like this and then paint it black like that. It should be fine. It's totally up to your taste. I just like to draw it like this, give some texture. But some people prefer this kind of smooth way. So it's totally up to you. And now neck, neckline. Oops, just color. The shoulder part of his costume. Give some gap here. So you just draw shoulder like this. Just slight gap. Then you see he is wearing costume on top of his body kind of effect, you see? Now, let's draw inside of eyes. I will kind of make it slightly bigger. Oops, it's a bit too. So how to add highlight is totally up to you. I sometimes draw the outline of highlight like this and add the center of the eye. like that. And this is basically you've done main part of the line drawing done. So what you need to do is just erase some unnecessary lines if there is any. So for me, I just get rid of this layer. So you all have something like that. And then keep adjusting if you need. So from here, I just add some small details. For example, I just add little strokes of hair here because this part hair is kind of standing up and goes down like this. So do little bit hair. And also, quite important technique I usually use is I make some part, for example, under the chin, where the shadow will be, that kind of area, line of that kind of area, slightly thicker, like this, to give some depth. So I'm made some part of the line thicker. For example, here should be like slightly thicker because there might be a shadow, and a little bit here, maybe a little bit here, just a little bit here, here, you know, wherever the shadow will be. So maybe here, maybe. And I just add little detail inside of ear, you know, that like ear lobe. And also add little bit of using a line to give a shadow on top of his eyes. And not finally, but almost finally, I'm adding some flow of the hair. I mean, you don't have to draw every single lines of hair like this for manga style. I will just add few to show where the hair starts and where to go. So something like this to show something like that. And finally, I sometimes for half wave, I sometimes add little lines like this on his cheek to make, he's not like brushing, but he's like, you know, kind of rosy cheek, healthy looking cheek kind of line. So if you add this kind of line on your character's cheek, it means either your character is brushing, rosy cheek, or healthy cheek color, or feeling embarrassed, or that kind of, you know, or feeling hot, you know, that kind of, you know, the effect. So I can add just a little bit of this kind of line on his cheek, make sure that he looks kind of healthy. Yeah, it's almost time. I usually paint this part darker, but you can do it later. So I think we're almost done, and then I can answer your questions if there is any.
There are, Chi. There are so many questions.
Oh, okay, great.
That is fantastic, though.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
fantastic.
Hope everyone got your version of halfway on your pen paper.
You want to see my version, do you?
Yeah, why not? Yes, please.
Is that what you meant? I'm not sure anybody else wants to see my version. Oh, I blurred my background though. So can you?
No, that's cool. You've got all the hairs and the costumes and everything is.
If I'm honest, if there are students out there that began this thinking there is no way I'm going to be able to do it, that's how I felt. And look what I did. It's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, not. It's more than not too bad. It's great. I mean, especially if you don't draw usually.
I never ever draw usually.
Okay.
Loads and loads of questions. Which computer program do you use for your artwork? So you're on that piece of software. What is it?
This one is called. I cannot pronounce this one.
Is it Clip Studio Paint?
Oh, yes. I always cannot pronounce this L. Clip Studio Paint. Yeah.
Okay. So if students want to use the same, now they know.
Yeah.
We have lots of specific questions. Have you watched My Hero Academia?
Sorry?
Have you ever watched My Hero Academia?
Yes, I have. Yes.
I
enjoyed it.
That.
Yeah.
They obviously think that's very cool. From John F. Kennedy Catholic, that is. So how many styles can you draw in? John F. Kennedy want to know, do you draw different styles of artwork or?
Well, yes, I think I do because I'm trained to be a fine artist. So I can draw like a serious observational pencil sketch kind of drawing. So that kind of in a realistic kind of way. And also manga style is my main style, something like this. And also I do, it's similar to my manga style, but slightly more toward picture book kind of, how do you call that? Not kids illustration, but kind of something slightly more stylized.
Yes, yeah.
And also I draw a lot of chibis, if you know what chibi is. It's a kind of little character style.
Okay.
I think many young kids know what chibi is. It's a kind of also 2 or 3 head tall little characters. So it's a part of kind of one style of manga styles, but it's a kind of cute way. Brilliant. So I kind of,
somebody's interested whether you have a website where you share what you have done. So I can make sure that goes out with the recording of this. So if people want to look at what you do, they can.
Okay, thank you.
How much do you practice is one question.
Oh.
How much do you have to practice?
Well, basically, I try to draw at least once a day, even though I'm very busy to doing something else. And then also I do draw whenever I see something interesting, like interesting new film or like football match on a TV. So, for example, if I'm watching like Euro or a World Cup or something, I usually with my sketchbook watching, a sports match or film on the TV or whatever. So I just kind of try to draw a little bit.
Yes, every single day. So that
every single day,
whatever inspires you.
Yeah.
There are lots of people asking about your favorite manga, maybe manga when you were growing up, or if you a favorite.
My favorite. It is very, very, very hard.
Or just one example of one that you loved.
I really like a slightly older one, but it's called Bleach. It's the same like Naruto time. And also recently I like Delicious in Dungeon, which is like Dungeon and Dragon setting with cooking theme.
You talked about that this morning.
Yes, yes.
If you watch the sessions from this morning, guys, then there are lots of examples of the type of things that Chi and Julian enjoyed and grew up and would recommend. We have, how long have you been drawing? I think we answered this morning, but how long have you been drawing?
I mean, professionally, I've been drawing like 15 years now, but I did go to art college, and also as a small kid, I was always drawing. I was really always drawing. So I started very, very young, but professionally for 15 years now.
Excellent. So that leads to a question about tips if students want to become manga artists, if they want to make a career of it. What advice would you give?
Well, first of all, I think try to finish at least one short story. And then next thing you have to do is try to show it to many people possible. So when you reach a certain age, like 18 or something, you might join to the like manga or manga comic conventions where you can sell your own work, and you get to know a lot of other people who want to become a comic or manga artist, or the publishers. And also you will kind of look for the competitions. There are international manga competition, as well as for example, Japan Embassy in London, they organize annual manga competition called Manga Jiman. The deadline is always like usually November. Then if you enter this, you will get invited to the Japan Embassy in London. Even if you don't win, you will get invited, and you will meet other people, you will meet judges. So you kind of see how the world is constructed. And then if you want to really kind of start working in Japan, maybe you should start learning Japanese.
Excellent advice. Absolutely. Learn the Japanese language. That is advice. Absolutely. Well, I'm very aware of time. We just have 2 more minutes before we give people a break before our final session. I can see that Lucy for our final session is waiting in the wings, but I wanted to share, Chi, some of the comments in the chat for you, saying that it's been absolutely wonderful, and they've really enjoyed drawing along, and that you are brilliant.
Oh, thank you everyone, thank you. I will check the Q&A section, and if there is anything I can answer, I will do it. Absolutely. So check it later if you put some question on Q&A section.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's one more that we can fit in, specifically about the facial features when drawing. Are there any that you always typically do for boys or girls in that traditional sense? So eyelashes, shaped makeup areas.
It's very typical things, but I tend to draw eyelashes for female character. But now, actually, recently I put eyelashes on not only female character. Well, whenever I find it's necessary, I put eyelashes. So now it's kind of slightly different, but eyelashes makes your character looks in a way slightly female-ish. It's I cannot deny that effect.
Excellent. Well, thanks again so much, Chi. It's been an absolute delight. I still can't quite believe that I have managed to draw something.
Great. It's really great to hear that.
I am sure I really wish I could see the students out there and they could all hold up their drawings. So
yeah,
if
that
you're
would be lovely.
still on there, then scan them in, take a photograph, put them on SLA Twitter, put them on an email and ping them over. So do share it with us, and then I can share all what you have inspired in us, Chi. We can share that with you. So
please, I want to look at them. So please do it.
That would be
everybody.
great.
Thank you.
Okay.